And welcome to the 123. I'm Frank, and we are not, I promise you, not going to have as long of a show as we did last time. Sorry, we're starting a little bit late. Just had some things I had to take care of. Um, and so we got started a little bit late today. But don't worry about it. We will finish on time. In other words, we'll get you all out to Raw, no problem. And, that's a good thing, bad thing. Hard to say, but let's start out with the superstar of the week. And Donovan Danhausen, born August 17, 1990, better known mononymously as Danhausen, is an American professional wrestler. He is currently signed to All Elite Wrestling and was previously known for his tenures with Ring of Honor and Full Impact Pro. Donovan Danhausen was born in Detroit on August 17th, 1990. On the independent circuit, Danhausen was trained by Jimmy Jacobs and Truth Martini. He made his debut on October 18th, 2013, becoming known for sticking to a gimmick illustrated by his spooky attire and painted face. He competed at BLP Slamathon, an event produced by Black Label Pro Wrestling, where he teamed up with Ethan Page and Swoogle to defeat Blood Diamond, Jack Lander, Joshua Bishop, and Trey Lammer for the BLP Tag Team Championship. He competed for Capital City Championship Combat at C4 Combat Shock 12th anniversary on November 21st, 2019, where he defeated Tony Deppen. At FU Freelance, I Don't Think We're in Chicago Anymore, from October 10th to 2020, an event produced by Freelance Underground Wrestling, Danhausen teamed up with Warhorse as Warhausen, defeating the Brothers of Funstruction, Rufo the Clown and Yabo the Clown, by disqualification, therefore failing to capture the FU Tag Team Championship. At First Wrestling Saturday Nitro, at an event produced by First Wrestling on March, Danhausen fought Orange Cassidy into a no contest. Ring of Honor. Danhausen made his first appearance for Ring of Honor at ROH Wrestling 429 on November 2nd, 2019, where he unsuccessfully challenged Shane Taylor for the ROH World Television Championship. He continued to make sporadic appearances, such as at ROH Wrestling 437, where he fell short to Rhett Titus on January 11, 2020, and at ROH Honor Reign Supreme 2020 on January 12th, where he scored a defeat against Dak Draper. At ROH, he scored a defeat, so he lost. Got it. At ROH Frio Enterprise on February 9th, 2020, Danhausen participated in a 20-man battle royal to determine the number one contendership for the ROH World Championship, where he competed against the winner Flip Gordon, Gangrel, PJ Black, Trace Williams, and others at ROH Final Battle 2020. On December 18th, he defeated Brian Johnson by disqualification, earning him an ROH contract. At ROH 19th Anniversary Show on March 26, 2021, Danhausen competed in a four-way match, falling short to the winner, Brian Johnson. All Elite Wrestling. Danhausen made his All Elite Wrestling debut during a special episode of Dynamite called Beach Break, which we'll get into shortly. And so it'll be interesting to see and wrestling style and persona is Danhausen has described his character as Conan O'Brien possessed by a demon. In April 2021, he appeared as a guest on O'Brien's podcast, Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, to discuss this concept. The character wears horror-themed face paint and believes he has supernatural powers such as shooting lightning from his fingers and the ability to put curses on his enemies. The voice of his character is based on O'Brien and Mark Hamill's Joker. He often refers to himself in the third person, adds a suffix "hausen" to words, chastises other wrestlers if they use profanity, and describes himself and things he likes as very nice, very evil. He is also known for nonchalantly dancing a Pee Wee Herman dance to the song Tequila in the middle of matches. So I'm laughing just because I know at one time Jim Cornette liked this gentleman, and I'm guessing that now he's going to see him wrestle, he's probably going to have some issues. Especially when he does his first dance to Tequila in the middle of a match. All right, so we're going to talk about the big bout that just happened, and I'm just going to pull it up because mainly for the just order of things and such, because what I've decided is what we're going to do from now on is I'm not really going to read the results exactly as talk about the show in its entirety. And so we're going to start out with Royal Rumble, which I did see yesterday. Not yesterday, because yesterday was Sunday. Saw it Saturday night. And we're going to go through it. And I know a lot of people are not big fans. And I can't say I was a big fan of it, but, you know, it's a thing that happened. See if I can get a good. We're going to use Bleacher Report today as kind of a little reminder thing. I'm going to have some of this. By the way, there's a delicious new lemonade out. It's a new Mountain Dew flavor. It's called Spark, and it's raspberry lemonade and Mountain Dew. Which is great because I've always fountain mix Mountain Dew with pink lemonade. And that's really good. All right. So, first we had Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship. Roman Reigns made his way to the ring alone for his Universal Championship match against Seth freaking Rollins because the Usos had been banned under a match decision before. Rollins came out to the Shield's music in his old Shield gear to play mind game with his former brother in arms, and he taunted the tribal chief as they stared at each other from across the ring. So then so as far as like the highlights of the match, Reigns avoided the Phoenix Splash, but when he tried to hit a spear, Rollins kicked him in the face. He hit a buckle bomb followed by a stomp for a close 2 count. Then Reigns began to take over. He slowed the pace, dished out punishment slowly, methodically. Then he threw Rollins into the timekeeper's area and the steel steps before drilling him with Superman punch for a 2 count. Rollins countered with a spear into a pedigree, but only got a near fall. The tribal chief eventually hit the spear, but as he went for the cover, his rival just laughed at him. Reigns grabbed him in a guillotine, but Rollins barely made it to the ropes. And it's weird. Some people thought that Charles Robinson put his hand on the ropes, but it was weird. The title holder refused to release the hold and got himself disqualified. And as Rollins got to his feet, Reigns assaulted him with a steel chair. He beat the Visionary down with over a dozen shots. This just felt really over the top. Like I felt weird because like when he first hit somebody with a I think I'm hallucinating. When he first hit somebody with a chair shot, I was like, wow, that's obscene. And then he kept hitting him. It was just too much. That was my thoughts on it. Uh, and some people might disagree. Then we had the Royal Rumble, the Women's Royal Rumble match, which was really good. But the play-by-play was good. As far as the entrants go, with Sasha Banks, Melina, Tamina, Kelly, Aaliyah, Liv Morgan, Queen Zelina, Bianca Belair, Dana Brooke, Michelle McCool, Sonya Deville, Natalia, Cameron, Naomi, Carmella, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, Ivory, Brie Bella, Mickie James, Alicia Fox, Nikki Ash, Summer Rae, Nikki Bella, Sarah Logan, Lita, Molly Holly, Ronda Rousey was number 28, Shotzi was 29, and Shayna Baszler was number 30. And there's a little bit of a reunion that happened between Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey. It was really a good match. There was a lot of different moments that things happened. Where people thought that they would get, where they would be trying to do something and just didn't happen. Eventually, Ronda eliminated Flair. The Queen took out the EST, WWE, and the Queen of Spades, so it all came down to her and Rousey. And it was pretty cool. I liked it. Naomi and Deville eliminated each other, so that was kind of a little thing. Ripley versus Ash, James versus McCool from several years ago, Summer versus Natalia were all used to keep the contest moving along. So there was a lot of good spots, and it was fun. Then we had Becky Lynch versus Doudrop, which was actually a pretty good match. The women were back in the spotlight right away. When Becky Lynch defending the Raw Women's Championship against Doudrop. Doudrop just looked really, really solid. She's a good worker. I can't stand that name still. I really wish they'd change it back to Piper Niven, but I know that I can in one hand. But she's able to. So the champion avoided a corner splash, but Doudrop was able to keep the upper hand and hit a senton to send her out on the floor to recover. She tried to hit a cannonball against the steps, but Lynch moved and she hit steel. The powerhouse caught the man coming off the rope, but she was able to transition to sleeper hold. Doudrop kicked out after a missile drop kick and started to get angry as Lynch began to berate her. They went back and forth, and next few minutes trading big moves in an attempt to finish the other one off. Lynch produced a manhandle slam from the middle rope. According also, that happened right after the match. I forgot about that. Ronda pointed at the WrestleMania sign, and the WrestleMania sign apparently caught fire because they were doing pyro off of the sign, which, by the way, they still did during the men's match because WWE, they don't, sometimes they're like Honey Badger. They don't care. So yeah. The contest was not the same level of excitement as Doudrop versus Bianca Belair. It's a good job, and we'll definitely revisit that. Then we had Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, and this was just like two Mack trucks going at it. It was great. Two men started with basic lockup, and then neither could get the advantage. Lashley, wanting to show no signs of weakness, got right back to his feet. No sold the move. He returned the favor of the German suplex that caught the Beast Incarnate by surprise. Lesnar grabbed him and hit 2 German suplexes in a row before releasing his grab. The Almighty went in with a kick and a gut before unloading the hard right hands. He avoided F5 and hit a spear out of nowhere. He lined up for a second spear that sent the Beast out of the ring. Lashley went for another spear at ringside and ended up crashing through the barricade where Lesnar avoided him. The Beast hit some more German suplexes, and they got back in the ring. Lashley countered a suplex and applied the Hurt Lock, which is crazy. Like, Lashley got a Hurt Lock on Brock. Lesnar backed him to a corner and crushed the ref in the process. The Beast hit the F5 and took the ref out again. This time, like, because it was weird too, because like, Lashley's being picked up into an F5 and the ref is just standing there, and you're like, why aren't you moving, dude? What is going on? And then, like, of course, he dropped Lashley onto him, and like, it was really, of course there's a reason. Lashley counter suplex applied, okay, and then there's nobody there to make the count. Reigns then came out of nowhere to spear Lesnar. Heyman handed him the WWE belt so he could hit the Beast with it and cost him the match. Heyman left with Reigns as Lashley made the cover for the win. And so that's how they did that. Sorry. Come on. And it was weird because this match was before Phoenix, Edge and Beth, Phoenix versus The Miz and Maurice. And there was a promo package featuring clips of metal forging right after the WrestleMania site went on fire. Because, like I said, WWE, they don't, Oh, okay. So that answers that question. We'll get back into that. So Miz and Maurice versus Edge and Beth. Maurice and Beth started for their teams. Maurice tried to run away from Phoenix. And I'll be honest, I fell asleep, so I'm now just reading this. Edge and Miz tagged in. The A-lister was able to attack Edge from behind. The R-rated superstar popped up, hit a DDT out of nowhere to give himself a chance to tag his wife. The Glamazon came in hot, hit Maurice with several strikes. Miz broke up the pin. So Phoenix got in his face. Maurice hit Phoenix with her purse brick, but couldn't get her down for the pin. She locked the Glamazon in a camel clutch before Edge and The Miz came back in the ring. Miz took out Phoenix at ringside, and while Miz had the ref distracted, Maurice hit Edge with a Hurricanrana. The A-lister hit Edge with his finisher, but he only got a 2 count. Phoenix and Edge struck The Miz with a spear at the same time before they hit Glamazon slams to both opponents for the win. So, Edge struck Miz. Okay, so it was okay. All right, so then we have the Men's Royal Rumble. This is as you'll see, even hearing the people that were in it, it's a thing. AJ Styles was out first for the Men's Royal Rumble, followed by Shinsuke Nakamura at number 2, but the real story of the contest came with its later entrance. AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Austin Theory, Robert Roode, Ridge Holland, Montez Ford, Damian Priest, Sami Zayn, Johnny Knoxville, Angela Dawkins, Omos, Ricochet, Chad Gable, Dominic Mysterio, Happy Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, Sheamus, Rick Boogs, Madcap Moss, Riddle, Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, Rey Mysterio, Kofi Kingston, Otis, Big E, Bad Bunny, Shane McMahon, Randy Orton, and Brock Lesnar. So it had all the usual Rumble spots. We saw a big guy get eliminated by several people at once. That was interesting. Like everybody was grabbing, and Chad Gable was kind of ring generaling, and AJ Styles did the forearm into almost removing him. I think that sounds right. Yeah. So friends and partners turn on each other. We even saw there was a lot of buildup for Ray and Dominic to maybe turn on each other, or there'd be a little back and forth that we would see, but they didn't book it for some reason. And Kingston missed saving himself when he was clearly supposed to land on the barricade, but it deflated things even further because he touched ground, and so they had to disqualify him. Um, the cameras were missing eliminations, and somehow Bad Bunny was one of the most successful entrants in terms of eliminations. As soon as, and then of course, Lesnar came in. He had lost early in the night, so speculation about him winning the men's Royal Rumble began to run rampant on social media. WD could have used this to put somebody else over and still booked Reigns versus Lesnar at WrestleMania, but they didn't care, so they did it anyway. And yeah, so I have some things to say about this, about the Royal Rumble specifically. So there was a lot of buzz, and there was a lot of people that were pretty excited about the idea of a forbidden door being open. And WWE or Vince McMahon's idea on that was like, no, pal, we're not going to do that. And the reality is that not only did they not give us Cody, did they not give us Jericho, did they not give us someone from TNA? Sorry, from Impact. Old habits and all that. But what they did do is they gave us a bunch of mid-carders and didn't even give us, and it was so jaded, even though what the people wanted or what they were hoping for was something kind of special or some kind of surprise, and what they got is they didn't even get surprises from the company, from the past, or just something kind of special that we haven't seen before. It was like, not only am I not going to give you what you want with this Forbidden Door thing, but I'm not even going to give you something special from our history or anything like that. All you get is Brock Lesnar and Johnny Knoxville and Bad Bunny, and that's it. And we're not giving you anything else. You're not going to have something like a Kevin Nash or Kane or something like that. We're not even going to bring in NXT. That Forbidden Door is going to be shut. We're not even going to have NXT guys come in. We're not going to have there's so many people they could have had. They could have had Ciampa. They could have had Braun Breaker. They could have had Walter. Sorry. They didn't even go with popular people that they knew that we would want to see. They're like, no, pal, this is what you get. And if you don't like it, go find some other product. Well, there is other product. Maybe someone sometime will decide to run something against the Royal Rumble, because if you're not going to pay attention to the fans, there was a time when you clearly had a good pulse on what the fans wanted. And then to add insult to injury, the guy that pretty much just unceremoniously lost his championship, Big E, who just suddenly isn't in the running anymore, who won't be on Raw tonight, is Big E, and so he's not going to win. Brock Lesnar certainly needs a push. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's just it grinds my gears, and I just wanted to say something about it. And even though like the Royal Rumble wasn't great, but it just wasn't. Not only wasn't it great, but they had the opportunity to do something that they, where they could have made it special. And I could see maybe them go, well, no, we don't want to reach over to the other company. Which, by the way, it was one of the times because Tony Khan would have let his guys go. I'm absolutely sure about it. If he would have asked for Jericho, Jericho might have been able to go. I mean, Tony Khan has his guys in AEW go to all kinds of other wrestling and help and prop those wrestling up. And it would have been an interesting olive branch. It would have been a changing of the guards. The thing is, and the reality is that, WWE is eventually going to be a shell of itself because it's going to be run by a corporate entity. I mean, we're starting to see more and more of that, where it's going to be more of a corporate type enterprise, and it's not an all family thing. It's where it's just bought out by some other group. And maybe you'll have somebody at the helm that was part of the family, but that person will not have control, will not be making decisions like this. And so it could have been a reach out of, well, we care about wrestling. We care about our fans. But the reality is WWE doesn't care about its fans. And they've made it clear time and time again. They care about the fans that want to see the big guys fight. And if you want to see technical wrestling, if you want to see high flying, if you want to see people that have skill, then you can go elsewhere. If we run them for a little bit, then be happy. But that doesn't mean it's going to be a long time. It's just to appease you for a minute. But it's always going to be the same big guys up on a pedestal to us. Because it's about sports entertainment. It's not about wrestling. So if you want to go watch wrestling, that's what AEW is for. SmackDown I didn't watch, and I just didn't watch it. So I don't know what happened on SmackDown, and I'm not going to look for it. Rampage. I want to get the order right for Rampage. Okay. And this was the second night of Beach Break. So we started with a computer that wouldn't must be time to eat some ice. Yay. All right. And a lot of this is Bleacher Report tonight because they're on it there. All right. So we started out with Jon Moxley versus Anthony Bowens. And of course, Max Caster was really funny and said some things. One of the funniest lines in my mind was where he told Jon Moxley to watch his network called Tell Jon Moxley to watch his mouth. And it was funny because it was between Bowens and Jon Moxley, but Max actually got in the ring and was taunting him for a minute. And, of course, Jon Moxley knocked him out, which was hilarious. I thought that was really funny. Um, Bowens is a strong looking guy. I mean, he's very athletic. Just looks pretty good in the ring. Caster, let's see. Then he cornered Bowens for some stiff right hands to the face to take control. He slapped Bowens in the back a few times before taking him out of the ring to throw him into the barricade. Bowens yanked Moxley into the ring post to turn the tide in his favor. He hit several strikes in the side Russian leg sweep for a 2 count. When he attempted a suplex, Mock countered and dropped him on his back. He returned from break to see Bowens hit a suplex. Moxley backdropped Bowens to his partner before he took Caster out with a suicide dive. Okay, so he hit him again because he was, As he got back into the ring, Bowens caught him with a DDT for a 2 count. They kept upping the level of aggression as they built to the finish. As Bowens tried to use a chain as a weapon, Moxley caught him with a cutter out of nowhere and took out Caster before hitting Bowens with a paradigm shift for the win. So, and this was a great rap. It was really well thought of. It was fun. It was fun. Moxley had really good energy. Then we had Brock Anderson and Lee Johnson versus FTR. The proteges of 2 former horsemen were in action this week when Johnson and Anderson took on Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood. As usual, Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson were in their respective teams' corners for support. Johnson and Wheeler started for their teams with a nice exchange of quick hands and counters. They ran the ropes and took each other down a few times before Anderson made the tag. Harwood tagged in the face-off against his idol son. He taunted Arn as he worked Brock in a wrist lock and took him down in a headlock. They came to a stalemate and tagged in their partners before engaging in 4-man battle. And Brock tagged in and took control of Flurry with a quick power moves. He and Johnson hit Wheeler with a few moves, but the savvy tag team wrestler got his foot on the ropes to avoid a pin. Once they were able to regain control, FTR hit Johnson with a spike pile driver for the win. And this was like the best match Johnson and Anderson have had in AEW. Both men are still young. So seeing them perform this well at the early stage in their careers means they will be good good in a few years. And let's be honest, FTR is like one of the best working groups, and I'm sure that they helped immensely. Then we had the first 2 title match. Let's see. So this was Cargill versus Hart versus Julia Hart. So this was the TBS Championship. They locked up. The powerhouse Cargill easily put Hart in a headlock before knocking her down with a running shoulder. She caught Hart in the midair. Cargill did some push-ups and sit-ups to taunt her opponent. The former cheerleader hit a few kicks before Cargill powered her up. Hart countered with Hurricanrana for a 2 count, but Cargill drilled her with a boot to the face and her finisher for the win. And honestly, this was okay, but I really felt like I thought they were going to go with something a little bit different, and they didn't. I thought maybe like Julia Hart was going to be just dangerous because of the eye patch, or they were going to do something like that, but they didn't go that way. So it was okay. Then we had Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus versus Private Party. I guess they're not Jurassic Express anymore. I don't know what that's about, but they decided to do that, or I guess that finishing move is now Jurassic Express. I don't know the reason for that. The main event was a tag team title match between Jurassic Express and Private Party, but clearly the Bleacher Report doesn't care either, so I don't know why I should. But Matt Hardy and the Blade were also at ringside to cause some trouble. Private Party got an early lead, double teaming Jungle Boy. He avoided combination leg drop and splash. This allowed him to tag in Luchasaurus to clear the ring. He took out the Blade and Hardy at ringside before he dropped Isaiah Cassidy on the apron. Hardy hit him with a chair while Mark Quinn kept the referee occupied. We returned to see Luchasaurus finally make a hot tag to Jungle Boy. The High Flyer lived up to his reputation. And there's some things that happened in the back, too. They didn't really decide to mention that. But all of the matches were pretty good, and like if you didn't see them in the live show. Then we have Dynamite, Beach Break. So look that up real quick here. Just like I said, to remember here, like how things happened. Okay, there we go. And here we go. Get a little sip since I gotta. Do this again here. So, trying to think what we started. Oh yeah, we started with the Cody versus Sammy Guevara match, and that was a banger, a real banger, really good. Oh, okay, yeah. First we had Moxley show up, and he returned. Then we had Orange Cassidy. Oh. Maybe it was like, really? Wait a minute. This isn't Beach Break. Sorry, everybody. I'll try and get the formats done. I went shopping, and it's really weird that I kind of ended up thinking I had more time than I did, and suddenly I looked and it was like 4. So it happened. As it sometimes does. All right. All right. I guess we'll just do that. All right. We'll do another one. This is